Rhubarb applesauce is kind of great because it not only preserves my apples and my rhubarb, but it gives me this sweet and sour kind of applesauce that's really kind of fun. And then it has the extra tiny bit of cinnamon in there. I really enjoy this one. I need 6 pounds of rhubarb and I need 15 pounds of apples. I prepare my rhubarb by cutting it into just small chunks so that it'll cook down nicely. Now, mine is already prepared because I froze it during rhubarb season, which is great because it's January now, so there's no way I'd be getting it from out of the garden at this point. And it's time for me to do my apples. For the apples, I just need to core them, peel them, and then cut them into smaller pieces so that they'll cook down a lot better. I like to use the corer slicer peeler for this. There's no reason to waste all of these skins. For me, I have my chickens or my pigs or my alpacas that slurp them up like they're spaghetti. But even if you don't have those things, you can actually compost it, and it composts very well, or you can make apple cider vinegar out of it. I'll then fine-tune my apples by taking off the skin that's left on the top and on the bottom, and removing any of the bad spots or bruises. I get mine from an orchard, so I have an increased number of those. And sometimes there's just a little bit of skin that's left behind, and so I pull that off as well. And then I do one slice down it, which allows them to come off in layers, and I'll place them in 2 separate pots so it's a little easier to stir. Now I've gotten my apples prepped and they're all divided between the 2. So now I need to add my rhubarb. I'm adding my rhubarb on top of the apples that are there. And I'll do a few in the one pan and a few in the other, just so that they cook together. I mean, it's not integral, but why not? As it cooks down, it'll take up less space. And then I'll add just a little bit of water to the bottom of each pan, probably about ½ a cup. And that just keeps it from burning before it has a chance to start having its own juices. Then I'll place these on the stove and simmer them until the fruit is nice and soft. So then I'll load it into my blender and I'll blend it until it's the consistency that I like. For me, I don't actually like a chunky applesauce. I used to, but that's changed ever since I had a bunch of kids. And now I like it really smooth. I always think it's a little funny when I add the rhubarb to it because it makes it just slightly greenish looking, but it's really good though. I don't know how different it would be if I had red rhubarb. Mine are green stalks. So if you like a thick applesauce, then you just blend it just a little bit of time. If you like it smooth, let it go a bit longer. And then I pour it all into a large pot and add 2 cups of sugar and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. The cinnamon is optional, but I really like it. And then I'll place it back on the stove and bring it up to a simmer until it's my desired thickness. Now for me, this is actually pretty close. So once I get to a simmer, it'll be done. I'll then fill my quart-sized jars up to 1/2 of an inch of headspace. Headspace is the space from the top of the food to the top of the jar. I can smell the little tartness as I'm pouring it. It smells so good. My oldest daughter, this is her favorite applesauce. I'll then use a clean damp cloth to wipe off the rim of the jar. This just makes it so that if there's any food on the edge, that it won't interfere with the seal. And then I place on my lids until they're fingertip tight. I'll then process them in the boiling water bath for 20 minutes if I'm at sea level. I'm at 1,200 feet, so 25 minutes. Now that the timer's gone off, I'll remove the lid, turn off the heat, and let it rest for 5 minutes. I then place my jars on a heat-resistant surface about 1 to 2 inches apart, which allows them to cool a little bit faster. And then I'll leave them to rest for about 24 hours, which allows them to get a nice, good seal. At that point, I'll remove the rings and wash them with hot soapy water, and then store them in a cool, dry, dark location and use them in the next 1 to 3 years. I'm actually really excited to taste test this one because I've been smelling it for the last little bit here, and I love that little bit of tart with the sweet. Yeah, I mean, just super good. The texture is perfect. Yours should be too, because you're gonna make it perfect for how you like it. Yeah, that little bit of tart right in the back. It's perfect.